Welcome back to Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host, Connor, and with me, as always, is my co-host, David.
That's me.
Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 5, Dancin Homer. Original air date, the 8th of November, 1990.
Very good. Very good.
Oh boy, oh boy.
What an episode.
I can say that again. Save it, though, for the part of the show where we give our opinions. First off, David, what was Dancin Homer about?
Beats me, mate. I've not got a clue.
We just finished watching it.
Literally just finished watching it.
15 minutes ago.
And started this.
Yeah. Went
Um,
for a bit of a piss as well.
yeah.
But we're here recording now.
It's more interesting than this episode.
What was Dancin Homer
Dancin
about?
Homer was... I don't remember exactly what happened at the start, but Homer's in Moe's Tavern.
Yes, that's correct at the beginning.
About something.
Sort of a framing device for the episode.
Yes.
He's telling the story of what happened to Moe and Barney and Larry and Sam.
Yeah.
And a few other randoms that we've never seen before.
Yeah, and we'll probably never again.
Nope.
But yeah, so he's telling his story about how he became such a loser.
Yes.
So we sort of flash back in time, I suppose, to a work baseball game.
Well, it's odd because I think it's that Mr. Burns owns the baseball team, the Isotopes. That's what they're called, the Springfield Isotopes, because obviously isotope is a nuclear whatever thing.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
Terminology.
Yeah. Terminology.
So it's
a workout and Mr. Burns is there.
Yeah.
And he meets obviously the Gamble family at the gate and then the Simpsons family as well.
Yeah. The Simps family.
Which is a much funnier joke now than it was in 1990.
Yes.
Simps. Hello, Simps.
Yeah.
Who am I? Belle Delphine? Who am I? Amaranth? Who am I?
Yeah.
Pokimane. Who am I? Pokimane? Hello, Simps.
Oh, okay.
Who am I? Sniper Wolf? Hello, Simps. Who am I? Nicolol? Hello, Simps. Who am I? Raven Alternative? Hello, Simps.
You can really reel off some names. You're not telling me something there, Connor.
I'm a cam girl in my spare time.
Ah, very good.
But you were telling me about the plot of Homer's Dancin Homer.
Yeah.
I almost said Homer's Odyssey Night Out. Dancin Homer.
Dancin Homer. Yes. So, the work baseball game outing, and Homer and the Simpsons family have somehow got front row seats.
Yeah, by accident, I'm sure.
Most definitely, considering he had no idea who they were. Despite destroying his career.
1 week ago.
He
said, Homer Simpson, you'll never feel joy again so long as I live. And a
week
later,
gave him front row seats.
He's like, who are you?
No, that wasn't a week later, but to be fair, that was actually back in time. If we think about it. Because it was...
I suppose so. It's a flashback. Maybe they did think about that.
Maybe.
No. Because that was originally meant to be Season 2, Episode 1.
Yeah.
Womp womp. What can you do?
Anyway.
What's the plot of the episode, Dancin Homer?
I'm getting there.
He ain't even dancing yet.
I know. So he gets up and dances. Mm-hmm. No, the crowd are all inevitable that our team will lose.
Yeah.
Look in their faces.
It's
coming to clinch sort of time.
The part of the baseball stadium that's reserved for the Isotopes fans, the part that's for employees of the power plant is full. And the rest of the stadium is basically empty.
Yeah, there's like 3 people across the entire.
No one's coming to see this baseball team unless they work for Mr. Burns, and it's
mandatory.
Obligatory. Yeah, mandatory.
Yeah. So they're all sitting there, obviously down, and they're not exactly happy or cheery. And then Homer, who's off his face at this point on buckets of beer.
Yeah, and they're getting popcorn buckets of beer. Him and Mr. Burns.
Yeah. They surprisingly get along. And Homer gets up and starts dancing in front of them on the outside of the barrier for some reason.
Yeah.
That cheers them up.
Yep.
Basically, gets them all pepped up. Surprises the shit out of the guy who's actually batting, who swings at the wrong moment, which turns out to actually be the right moment.
And he hits a home
Hits
run.
the ball. Yep.
Wins the game.
Yes.
The Isotopes have actually won a match.
Yep.
Who would have thought?
That's basically the announcer's thoughts as well. As he's like, they won. The Isotopes have won.
Mr. Burns doesn't like Homer's dance, and
he doesn't.
Bans him from all future
work outings.
That never comes up again.
Nope.
Why was that in the episode?
Don't know. Unnecessary.
Could have just had Mr. Burns not react to it, and it was
terrible writing.
In the bin.
Whole episode.
Yeah.
Fuck it, the show.
There's some good episodes.
Yeah, no.
They're coming. This isn't one of them.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
Continue to summarise this piss episode.
He dances. The guy who runs Mr. Burns' team, the Isotopes, rocks up.
Is it the guy who runs the team or the guy who runs the stadium? I want to say it's the guy who owns the stadium.
Maybe he owns the stadium. I don't know. The guy comes over. He's somewhat important-ish.
The Antoine Tex, is that his name? Maybe?
Something like that. He talks with a weird sort of cowboy, sideways moving mouth.
Yeah.
He rocks up and he's just like, dance for me.
Fat boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Homer says yeah, basically.
And then he dances.
He dances more. He becomes a bit more well known.
He gets a uniform put on with
his name goes from not on the billboard to being on the billboard and small writing at the bottom to eventually taking up the entire billboard.
With the names of the baseball teams in small writing at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then the Isotopes lose.
They do indeed. And he thinks he's getting pulled into this office with that random cowboy dude.
Yep.
Fucking Mex.
Rex.
Taco Tuesday. I don't know. That guy. So he pulls him into the office. He thinks he's about to get fired. And he gets told he's going to Capital City. They want him up there.
Aye.
And he's like, oh, but they've got this fucking well-known
Capital City goofball.
Yeah.
The guy. Their mascot.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he's getting kind of old and he wants someone to take over.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of his workload.
Yeah. Which makes no sense. They could just get a different dude to get in the costume, but whatever. They talk it over, surprisingly, with Marge. And they all kind of agree. Weirdly enough, Marge is actually kind of the only one on his side.
Bart and Lisa are against it, and then Marge is for it, and she brings them round, and they move to Capital City.
Yep, they do indeed. They move to Capital City. We see all the signs. We hear a lot of music.
Yep.
We see some street crimes. It's great.
Wonderful.
Absolutely
City life.
Beautiful stuff.
There was the classic city landlord charging £800 for a
fucking
piss stinking closet.
Yeah.
And then having their tenant mugged by someone they know so they can get even more money out of them. Landlords are scum.
Usually. Yeah.
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 That's more of our political podcast.
Very good.
You're either red or you're dead. Is that what I called it in the last episode?
I think it was, yeah.
Close enough.
It's decent.
Let's wrap up this episode discussion, David.
Mm-hmm.
Big sippy of your tea.
Yep.
Big sippy. Let me have a big sippy as well.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's...
Is this maybe like only the second time there's actually some tea drinking?
In the episode?
Audible on the episode?
And you think there would be more because this is a T422 production.
You'd have thought.
Wrap it up.
He goes to the big city. He dances in front of Capital City crowd in the fifth inning.
Yeah.
When they're already hammered, apparently.
Apparently so.
And in good high spirits. And notice all laughs because it's just a fat man dancing.
Yep. He does a cartwheel at one point.
He does.
Which is pretty
surprisingly
for
sprightly for an older fat man.
He's not that old. He's in his mid to late 30s.
Yeah. He's still
for a fat guy.
For that body shape. doing absolutely anything.
Maybe we should just stop calling him the fat guy.
Maybe. Is that insensitive? No,
Yes.
fuck him, it's Homer.
It is a cartoon character,
Yeah.
so no, it's not insensitive. But if he was a real man...
But he's not.
It would be, but he isn't.
Exactly.
He's not even a fictional character
so
played
that
by
fat guy,
a live-action actor, which case it could be insensitive.
Yeah. But that fat guy...
Yeah, yes.
Dancin is not actually funny, according to Capital City.
Those uptight city snobs.
Who are not even remotely representative of anyone that actually rocks up to any baseball game.
No.
Ever. Anywhere.
I've never been to a baseball game.
Me neither. Might want to point that one out.
We're not Americans.
We are not. Clearly.
You never know.
There's no one at any doubt if they've listened to any of our previous episodes.
If this is their first episode,
a lot.
They might... People in America have all different kinds of accents. You can be a Scottish man living in America.
Everyone's fucking Scottish in America.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking wankers. And you go and
everyone's Scottish, and they can always tell you how Scottish they are.
Go shag a gun, you bunch of fucking pricks.
Always fucking turn around.
You American
as soon as they meet a
cunts.
Scottish person,
Yanks.
they always turn around and go, I'm related to Robert the Bruce.
You should have.
And you're like, fuck off. Not everyone's related to Robert the Bruce. That cunt stayed inside almost his entire fucking life. There's no way he sired about 5 million people.
You can find out more about that in our other podcast, Robert the Bruce Got No Pussy.
Exactly. Anyway, I got weirdly
They should have given
that.
the country back to the Native Americans and
They
fucked
really
off into the
fucking
ocean. Anyway.
I got weirdly annoyed about that.
No, I understand. I get annoyed by it as well.
I got like
you should,
could
if you're an
feel it in my chest, annoyed about that.
If you're an American, you shouldn't be saying, "Well, technically, I'm actually Irish because my great-great-grandfather was in Ireland on holiday for 15 minutes."
Yeah,
take pride in the fact that you're an American with American heritage.
Exactly,
but not too much pride.
No.
Don't be a racist. Don't be a xenophobe.
Exactly.
No, not that kind of pride.
No.
You were about to wrap up.
I really was. So
about 10 minutes ago.
So he fails at dancing.
Yes.
He closes off the story in Moe's Tavern.
He's buried his outfit. They've moved back to Springfield.
It's done. And somehow people there, despite not a single audience member in real life watching it, ever having any interest in this episode, everyone in the bar did.
Yeah.
To the point where people we've never seen and never will again rocked up to actually listen to this shit. As he tells it again.
Does he tell it again?
They ask him to tell it again, and Mo pours him another drink.
This story?
This fucking story. And they're like, you're such a good storyteller.
Not this story.
That was shit.
Tell us about the time you went to space.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet.
I know.
But tell us about the time you went to space. Tell us about the time your baby shot your boss.
Yeah.
Tell us about the time you... anything.
Any other time.
Tell us about the time a raven flew into your study.
Any other time.
Exactly. And your life was narrated by Jim. Tell us about the time you were abducted by aliens in the last episode.
Yeah.
Even though technically Trios of Horror episodes are non-canon.
All right. Okay. Makes
Trios
sense.
of Horror episodes aren't canon. But regardless, I would be very interested to see if anyone, any Simpsons fans out there,
actually enjoyed this?
No, I'm not even talking about like a passive, it was fine. Would anyone rate this highly? To where it's one of their favourite episodes of season 2? Surely not. Not even, because even if
it was the episode they were watching while they got head for the first time or something. Because there's no other reason for it. None.
See,
and even then, that's a close call.
The first time I got ahead, I was watching the movie Yes Man, starring Jim Carrey, and it didn't affect my feelings on the film at all.
No.
I was a fan of the film before, and I was a fan of the film after.
The first time I got ahead, I'm pretty sure The Diary of a Vampire or some shit. No?
The Little Vampire?
No. Like it's Brad Pitt as a vampire.
The Interview with a Vampire?
Interview with a Vampire.
That's a good movie to get head to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very erotic film.
It is.
Yes, man.
Not
Less
so
so.
Yeah. Love Guru. That's I've gone to that one.
School of Rock was a weird one for me.
Fucking Jesus.
That's not even a joke. That's a true story.
Yeah,
That's a strange one.
Yeah, that's a strange one.
The Thing as well, the 1982 John Carpenter film.
All right.
Strange and stranger still.
Only because it got to the point that where we actually got down to something happened in the credits. I don't count it normally.
Okay.
But teeth.
Oh, gee willikers. This could be an entire podcast in itself. That's a good name for this podcast. Talking about what films you've fucked during. I've told this story before, but I once fucked for so long, David. I once fucked for so long that I was watching the movie Alien. I was in the first quarter of the movie Alien. And I fucked for so long. The film finished, and I got up in the middle of my fuck. David. I went over to the Blu-ray player. I took out Alien, and I put in the disc for Aliens, and I got halfway through that film as well. I once fucked for so long, I got halfway through the classic Alien quadrilogy. Is any of that staying in?
Probably not.
I think it's funny.
If we'll see what's left after we cover
what I was going to say before this came up.
Yeah.
Before whatever that was, that tangent.
I don't know.
Even if you're a big baseball fan, the season 3 episode Homer at the Bat is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't like baseball or care about it in any way.
Yeah.
So I have no reason to, and I've never thought it looked like a very interesting sport.
Yeah.
But Homer at the Bat is a genuinely incredible episode.
Yeah.
You remember that one, right?
Yes.
It's the one where it's like, there's a guy with the hair and Mr. Burns is like, you better shave those sideburns. And he comes back and he's shaved the entire sides of his head. And he's like, I thought I told you to shave those sideburns. And he's like, I don't think you know what sideburns are. And that one of the Daryl Strawberry gets into an argument with Barney about Pitt the Elder. So who was the best British Parliament member or something?
Right.
And it's Pitt the Elder or someone else.
I don't remember that bit.
There's so many classic moments in that episode. Wade Boggs is in it.
Right.
As himself, who also shows up in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
As himself.
Yeah.
I want to say he's one of only 2 actors to appear in The Simpsons and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right.
Obviously, Danny DeVito is
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. But anyway, as I was saying, even if you're a baseball fan, this is not the best baseball episode of The Simpsons. By a long way.
Absolute mile.
That other episode is only a season later. It's season 3. This is season 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a better baseball episode in one of the other 34 seasons as well.
Yeah.
I really feel like this is a bad episode, and I've always felt that way.
Yeah.
It's one of those episodes where when I was a kid watching The Simpsons on Channel 4 on Wednesday nights, and I sat down to watch it with like a fish supper or whatever, spaghetti on toast, whatever awful, disgusting British meals I was consuming, fucking toad in the hole. If it was this episode, I was genuinely disappointed.
Yeah.
Even as a dumb child.
Yeah.
With little thought behind his eyes.
I would usually switch over to a different channel.
Yeah.
If I ended up coming
and that was back when there were 4 channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, BBC, ITV, the other one in Channel 4.
Yeah. The other one.
Was it BBC 2 or something?
Yeah.
BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV, and Channel 4.
We also had BBC Scotland.
Yeah.
5 channels.
I didn't watch on BBC Scotland.
There was occasionally like a pet program or something on there. There was like an animal program on there.
There was also CBBC or CBBS or whatever. One of those existed.
Yeah, aye. CBBC was the original. CBBC
it would have been
was
CBBC
later.
then, yeah.
Hmm.
You know it's bad back in the day when you're switching channels.
When you switch over to CBBC to watch Tracy Beaker.
I like Tracy Beaker, man.
Yeah, but Tracy Beaker over The Simpsons.
Very rarely would I make that choice.
But this fucking episode I would.
Yes, that's a new ranking for how bad episodes are. Would you swap over to watch the story of Tracy Beaker instead? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
This was even in the days long before Family Guy had graced our shores.
Yes. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Do we want to go on Eye on Springfield?
Yeah.
I'm not doing the dance, actually. I'm pissed off by this awful episode.
Yeah.
This is Eye on Springfield, a segment where we recap characters who have made their first appearance in this episode of The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
The capital city goofball. We've already discussed.
Yes.
He's the mascot for the capital city
team.
The cunt? Did you just say
the current?
He's the mascot. The cunt. It's like, he's as the kids would say, he's serving cunt.
Yes.
Also made their first appearance in this episode, David. Who's Flash Baylor?
Flash Baylor. Oh, is he the announcer at Capital City? Is he the
No, the Capital City one is David something.
Oh, okay.
Flash, I just had to Google this because I couldn't remember.
Right.
Flash Baylor is the guy who signs Bart's baseball.
Oh, right. Ah, right. Okay.
Bart tries to get his baseball signed by.
That's why I don't know who the fuck he is.
And he's like, no, I won't
he's part
sign
of the Isotopes.
Yes. Oh, he's a former Isotope.
Oh, shit. So
he's just there as an old, washed up man.
Oh, man. A former Isotope.
Whoa.
Eesh.
And then he tries to hook up with Marge.
Yes.
He signs Bart's baseball something like
the something motel.
His motel
room 24.
number. Coming for a shag or whatever.
Something like that. Might as well have.
It's a very sexual episode of the podcast.
It's a good point.
We are recording it at 1:45 in the morning. This is Insert Brain Here Nights. It's more sultry and sensual and sexy than a regular Insert Brain Here episode. Oh. First appearance of Antoine Tex.
Yeah, that's the texted.
Is it?
Yeah. Guy with a brimmed hat. Sort of looks a bit like the Lone Ranger or something.
He's the former owner of the Springfield Isotopes. Spoiler alert. He must lose the Springfield Isotopes at some point.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Because he's the current owner at this point.
Ah.
Maybe he doesn't appear outside of this episode.
Maybe.
Who knows and who cares?
Not me.
Antoine Tex O'Hara is his full name.
Right.
Which is not what I said. I just said Antoine Tex.
It's more than I got. I got Tex-Mex.
So you did. I got Rex originally.
I think I called him Taco at some point.
Yep.
Well, that's not even remotely racist, I hope.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Definitely sounded a lot more upbeat finishing that.
One step closer to the end of the episode.
Very good.
I wish I was watching Yes Man getting my dick sucked right now. Such a sexual. I'm really disgusted. Why such a sexually charged episode? It's not like this is a sensual episode of the show.
No, not even remotely.
If we were talking about the episode where Marge has an affair with Jacques.
Jacques. Yeah.
Born to be Wild? No, it was Jacques to be Free. It's in English.
Yeah.
I would understand because that's quite a stirring of the loins episode.
Yeah.
But this is Dancin Homer. Didn't even stir my brain cells.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are some fun things that you noticed in this episode, David?
Well, one of the things that you noticed...
Me?
Was when one of the scenes were at one of the baseball games. Well, what was kind of appreciated...
Oh, of course. I found it really funny that you can see that the 2 or 3 people behind Marge are annoyed and leaning to the right or
I think
left.
it's maybe like 4 or 5. Because it was the 2 or 3 rows behind her.
Yeah, they were annoyed that they had to sit behind Marge with her big blue shoot-up hair.
Yeah.
So they're leaning to the right and the left with an annoyed look in their face, trying to see past Marge to the baseball field.
Yeah, yeah. Which is good, but I quite like the fact that it's in there.
Yeah.
That's something that I would appreciate about this particular episode.
There's one good thing.
It's there, yeah. We've got one.
I don't dislike the design of Dancin Homer. The baseball cap and the cape and the I think sometimes when they do a fancy outfit for Homer, there's a temptation to make it too outlandish in terms of something that he could throw together himself.
Yeah.
But I think this did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely believable that he could get that stuff fairly quickly.
He probably already had the hat, because it's got the Isotopes logo on it.
Yeah.
Could have just had a plain white t-shirt and put H in pen.
Yeah.
Or had one with H on it already.
Possibly, yeah. Well, yeah, the suspenders and whatnot. It's...
Probably had a suit with suspenders at some point. That was very in at the time.
I'm sure he did.
1990.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I sort of commented on, which I don't think we've actually mentioned yet, is how weird it is. It was right at the start, I think, during the
opening credits.
During the opening credits, about the fact that Bart and Lisa don't have a school uniform, which is really weird.
But that's pretty common in America.
Yeah.
Here it's like every school has a uniform in the entire country.
Yeah, every school has a uniform here, but...
Even if you think of teen movies, it's not as noticeable in older films. It's quite like It's a Wonderful Life. But if you look at something like The Breakfast Club, Back to the Future, even the scenes set in the 50s, you've got Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
But the thing
none of those movies are they wearing uniforms in school at any point.
No, you're correct. However, the thing about most of those movies, not all, I think it's all, they're all high school.
That's true.
Not middle school.
Well,
or primary school.
A Christmas Story, there's one that's set like primary school era, and so is The Sandlot. I'm really testing my fucking knowledge here. A bunch of Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, probably. I don't know. I'm trying to think of more films that show
I'm pretty
kids
sure
in
that there are some Mary-Kate and Ashley movies where they are in
Well, there's
uniform.
some Mary-Kate and Ashley movies where they're actually in the UK.
It's a good point. That could be the ones I'm remembering. Or I'm hearing about for the very first time just now.
You can hear more about that in our Mary-Kate and Ashley revisiting podcast, where we watch all the classic Mary-Kate and Ashley movies.
There was a fucking lot of them, weren't there?
Oh, yes. It's going to be a long podcast. We're starting with How the West Was Fun. And we're going to build our way right up to New York Minute. The one that I actually remember watching quite a lot.
I actually remember watching that one too.
It's pretty good.
It's alright, yeah.
Is Eugene Levy in that film?
I think he is.
I don't know why I get the feeling that he is.
That might be completely wrong. We might just be putting him in there.
We're thinking of American Pie 4 Beta House or whatever the fuck. The Naked Mile or something.
Yeah, I think that might be number 4. No, 5.
Okay, you're the American Pie expert.
I have 8 of them at least.
And there's 9.
Yes.
But I've seen 7 of them.
Yes.
With you.
Yes.
What are our American Pie and Mary-Kate and Ashley podcasts called, David?
I have no idea. A warm slice of apple pie. I don't fucking know.
And what's the name of our American Pie podcast? I can't think of a Mary-Kate and Ashley thing.
Fucking anything.
Twin Wins, a Mary-Kate and Ashley podcast. Look, it's late at night.
It's late and it's all we've got.
I'm trying to get a palate cleanser from all our sexual escapades earlier on this episode.
Yeah,
our
fair.
debauchery.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah.
What's our American Pie podcast called, David? Take us back to the red light district. What's it called?
I was just going to go with a warm slice of apple pie because that's the first description of what it's like fingering a woman. In the first apple pie. Yeah, in the first American Pie, which leads to Jim fucking the apple pie.
Yeah, everyone's seen the film.
Yeah.
I hadn't until you showed it to me, though.
There you
I
go.
hadn't seen any of them.
Mm.
Okay. What was I talking about? We were talking about school uniforms.
Yeah, school uniforms and the fact that it's weird that there aren't any.
I actually like the fact that there aren't any. I wish British schools would
ditch uniforms.
I don't care now.
Oh yeah,
because we're not in school anymore.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, I thought it was really annoying. That
I actually kind of appreciate a uniform now because if some wee chavvy shit decides they're gonna mouth off at you, you can't lamp them.
Yeah,
because you're gonna end up in jail.
Point. Right outside of this Starbucks.
Yeah.
Let's do 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Yeah, I think that's a good show.
This episode marks the first mention of Shelbyville.
Yep.
Straight into it.
Yep.
The capital city goofball has the picture of Homer and Cashmere from Homer's Night Out in his locker.
All right.
I didn't notice that.
I did not notice that.
Did you even see his locker?
Yeah.
Take it as gospel.
Yeah.
This is the first episode to feature a guest star as himself.
All right.
Who was it, David?
Was it the guy singing?
What's his name?
I don't know. Can't remember his name. They mention it.
Tony Bennett.
Thank you.
I think he's dead now. I want to say he died last year.
Did he?
Died July 2023.
Holy shit.
Rest in peace, Tony Bennett. I remember there was a big outpouring of love from Simpsons fans.
All right.
Because obviously it was a big deal to have him play himself in the show.
Yeah.
When it was at such a young age. If we had been doing our podcast then, we would have mentioned it.
Oh, definitely.
Homer's chants and his nickname Dancin Homer is a reference to American baseball fan Wild Bill Hagee, who earned the nickname The Roar from 34 for his chants during the 1970s in Section 34 at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium.
I'm sure if someone gave a shit about baseball, that'd be interesting trivia.
The Roar from 34 would be a good name for a podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe if we could find info about a lion that was born in 1934.
And do a whole series of podcasts about it.
Make a podcast about his life.
Yeah.
Or her life.
No. Lioness.
Or their life. Non-binary lion. The announcer's call at the end of the baseball game. The Isotopes win a game is repeated 3 times in homage to Russ Hodges' famous call of the shot heard round the world, the game-winning home run by Bobby Thompson on October the 3rd, 1951. The Giants win the pennant was also repeated 3 times.
Was it around the world? Or was it just America?
I didn't hear about it.
I didn't hear shit about it.
I always thought that the shot heard round the world was a Civil War thing.
I always thought the shot heard around the world was the fucking Kennedy assassination, mate.
I thought it was the shot heard around the world was the first shot fired that set off the American Civil War. It led to a bloodbath in something. My memory of the American Civil War is faded, obviously.
Yeah, since school.
I didn't study it in school. This is stuff I've picked up in my spare time.
Watching movies?
No, actually researching American Civil War shit. It's wars in general in American history.
Right.
When Mr.
Americans aren't special.
No.
Good. I wanted to know whether or not I need to kick you off the podcast you run.
When Mr. Burns starts taunting the ball players and Homer expresses his appreciation of Burns' skill, Burns reveals that he used to use the same taunt on Connie Mack at Shibe Park. Shibe Park was opened in 1909 in Philadelphia and renamed Connie Mack Stadium in 1956. Mack was a catcher and the longest-serving manager, blah, blah, blah. The Park Stadium was demolished in 1976. Who gives a rat's fucking arse? Homer's speech parallels the retirement speech given by Lou Gehrig, during which Gehrig also refers to himself as the luckiest man on earth. I've heard the name Lou Gehrig before.
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig's disease. That's where I've heard the name before.
Oh, shit.
Let's research on the fly.
Let's go.
Put in some tense, free-to-use music here. Royalty free. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is a fatal type of motor neuron disease. It is characterized by progressive degeneration of nerve cells in the spinal cord and brain. It's often called Lou Gehrig's disease after a famous baseball player who died from the disease.
Luckiest man in the world.
That he certainly was not.
You can't be that lucky and get a disease named after you.
You know that meme where they're like, we found out what's wrong with you. What is it? What do you want it to be called?
Yes, yeah.
That's the life of Lou Gehrig.
Oh, fucking hell.
And he didn't even, Lou Gehrig's disease isn't even the official name for it.
Yeah.
Luckiest man indeed. The stadium where the Capital City Capitals baseball team play is designed after the Houston Astrodome, which was once considered the 8th wonder of the world upon its opening in 1965.
By Americans, because no one else gave a shit.
The marketing team
Yes.
who wanted to promote their
Yes.
baseball stadium. A very cynical episode, this one, and I'm glad to see it.
Yeah.
Writer Ken Levine was a minor league baseball announcer, a profession which came in handy for this particular episode. Should never have hired that writer. This episode sucks.
Yes.
I take that back. That was a little bit mean.
Yeah, fuck him.
I'm sure he's done good writing on other episodes.
Hopefully. To actually redeem something.
The Springfield Stadium features an ad for Royal Majesty. This is the tailors that Carl took Homer to in season 1 episode Simpson. Wait a fucking cracker of a minute. It says here, season 1 episode Simpson Delilah. I need to correct that. The Springfield Stadium features an ad for Royal Majesty. This is the tailors that Carl took Homer to in the season 2 episode Simpson and Delilah.
Ah, yes, yes.
The other featured ads are Girdles and Such Fancy Lingerie, the Jerky Hut, the Springfield Mall, and talking point that we forgot to bring up, Moe's Tavern.
Moe's Tavern.
Hit this sign and win a free well drink.
Yeah.
What's a well drink?
I don't fucking know what a well drink is. We did notice that. We noticed the Majesty ad, and we noticed the Moe's Tavern and whatever the fuck
it was
a well
very
drink
odd.
was.
Moe's Tavern, like a little rundown drinking hole establishment, would have a big ad in a baseball stadium.
Yeah. Even a local one.
You could have
especially
replaced
a massive ad like that.
Yeah, you could have replaced that billboard with any other local business, like Dandy Most Candy or whatever. Power Flower, whatever that guy's name is.
Oh, yeah. Aye.
You know what I mean.
Yep.
Ron Taylor was meant to reprise his role as Bleeding Gums Murphy, but was unable to, and as a result, Darryl Coley filled in for this episode. He was a well-known gospel singer at the time, and this was his first credited acting appearance. He sadly passed away in 2016.
Oh. Well, he did a fairly decent job of Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Yeah, his voice was definitely higher than...
Definitely
than
a lot
Ron
less
Taylor's.
Sort of gravel in the voice.
And baritone, if that's the right word.
But he did a fairly decent job. That wasn't like severely detracting from.
No, I think it was pretty good. Yeah.
To be honest, that might be one of the better bits.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the better jokes in the episode.
Yeah.
James L. Brooks came up with the idea of the Moe's Tavern wraparounds at the beginning and end of the episode. This was added because the writer it was added because the writers did not know how to end the episode.
Shouldn't have started it. That's how you fucking end it.
When Bleeding Gums Murphy starts to sing the Star Spangled Banner, the digital clock behind him reads 7:30. When he finishes, the clock reads 7:56.
Yeah.
It takes him 26 minutes to sing a tune that usually takes just over a minute.
Yeah.
He achieves this through the use of melisma, a musical technique where a single syllable of text is sung over many notes in succession.
Yeah.
Okay. The Seattle Mariners would show the Bleeding Gums Murphy bit of this episode on a jumbo board between innings. Eventually they stopped as they got complaints from people.
Alright.
I feel like I should start a segment of this show where we just talk about people complaining about The Simpsons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daryl Coley improvised a long take of the American national anthem and actually recorded about 30 minutes worth of audio for it.
Holy shit.
That's insanely impressive.
That is great.
I would love to see that and not listen to it.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I'd love to see that.
I'd love for that to be released.
Yeah.
So I could be like, wow, there it is.
So I could like a video with it.
Yeah.
After watching about 12 seconds.
I'd skip through it.
I'd skip 12 seconds total. I'm skipping through it as I go. Just to check it's not looped audio.
Antoine Tex was based on the owner of the Syracuse Chiefs. I wonder what they're called now. Because it can't be the Syracuse Chiefs.
No, that's a good point.
The black and white scene is based on the movie The Pride of the Yankees. Never seen it.
Nope.
Tony Bennett had credited his appearance in this episode with giving his career a second wind.
Tony Bennett didn't have a career, clearly. Because this is like the worst possible episode you could get on.
Yeah, but I think just being in The Simpsons in general was enough to kind of boost him to a younger audience again. And
Jesus.
That's the end of 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Christ almighty.
I don't know why I wrote 18 points of trivia for this episode.
Yeah, I don't fucking know either. Yeah.
I think I thought it was going to be a better episode, obviously. David?
Yes.
Are there any things in this episode that made you go, boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder?
There's a few.
Tell me all about them.
The writing of the episode. Well, it's only partially a joke, but yes, there are a few. There's
lots of bad animation.
Lots of bad animation. There was one that I particularly spotted, which was the capital city shot when they're first showing the crowd in the stadium.
Yeah.
The crowd is made up of almost exclusively Series 1 background animation characters because they are fucking hideous.
Yeah.
They make the background characters of the last episode that we were talking about look
practically HD,
positively fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
They look like they are running for Miss Universe at this point because some of these guys and women are just awful.
Terrible, hideous.
Yeah.
Aye.
And just a lot of it's just really not a Simpsons character in the slightest.
No.
It's not got anything to do with Simpsons draw style, color of the characters. And that's not to say, like outside of the norm of any main character, then
that was something we were going to mention that we haven't.
What's that?
There's a guy, an announcer at the baseball stadium who looks like he could be Nelson Muntz's grandfather.
Oh, yes.
I pointed that out in this episode, aye.
Yeah.
But Nelson Muntz's actual grandfather is later revealed to be a judge.
Okay. Fair enough. Grandfather's less successful cousin?
Perhaps.
Maybe more successful, depending on how much money he makes. I don't know.
I mean, he's not the announcer. He's just a guy
announcing
shouting in a
stuff.
Stadium.
Okay, yeah. He's definitely not the guy that's making a lot of money then.
No.
Less successful.
Definitely less successful.
Well, there's one you pointed out, which was Marge's dress changing colour.
Yeah, at the end of the Tony Bennett singing number. Marge's dress flashes from green to orange to green to orange, and her pearl necklace flashes from its classic red to white.
Yes. Which it frequently does through... It's a common animation problem.
Earlier. I think it's because, obviously, Lisa has white pearls and Marge has red.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some confusion there.
Most likely.
God, this is a bad episode.
Yes.
Of The Simpsons and of this show as well.
Both. They're somewhat linked. There's other blunders. What the fuck are they? I don't remember.
Who cares?
Some shit.
Any final thoughts on the episode, David?
Pile of shit.
Yeah,
Can you tell we don't like it?
Yeah, I think we've hammered home the fact that this is a bad episode enough. It got all the energy it deserved, which is not much. Are there any redeeming qualities to this episode besides the ones we've already mentioned? I feel like...
there's another blunder. Sorry. Yeah, I know you're trying to find redeeming qualities.
What's your
the other blunder is the fact that Marge, Bart, and Lisa are all that weird fucking washed out lemon yellow.
Yeah, you pointed that out at some point again. Simpsons yellow.
Simpsons yellow, whilst in the same shot as Homer and
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, who are the correct colour. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, redeeming qualities.
Well, this is another negative that I have.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Redeeming qualities isn't really a successful segment, is it? Mr. Burns' characterization, I feel, is undone in this episode.
Yes.
This is season 1 Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Generic boss character from a sitcom.
Yes.
The Mr. Burns we saw last episode, who's the more classic Mr. Burns everyone knows, is gone.
Yes.
He wouldn't ever go to a baseball stadium. He's talking about his past baseball stadiums, but I don't believe
he would ever have gone.
Our traditional Mr. Burns would have gone to that.
No. Nor would he ever sit with his employees.
No.
If he ever did go to a stadium. He'd be in a private box somewhere. If he ever went to a baseball stadium, if he ever had to, he'd be in a private box somewhere.
It
and
really
his employees
stops,
would never have gone, even if he owned the fucking place. They would have maybe been made to go if they bought their own tickets. But they had to go.
Yeah.
There's no way he has given away tickets, even if there are 3 people at that match.
I feel like
he's not giving away
Burns
tickets.
really stops caring what his employees think of him later on in the show.
Yeah.
He's not hosting picnics at his house or anything in the later episodes. That's a season 1 reference, by the way.
Yes. That's the generic boss shite.
Yeah.
That's the generic big American boss nonsense. It's just what it is.
Anyway, any redeeming qualities in this episode?
Not that I can think of. You got any?
Nope.
We've only got the 2. That was the appreciation for Marge's hair being in everyone's way.
Yep, that was a nice detail. I think the music is...
you know what? The music was pretty decent.
But I think that's just standard baseball music. It's not unique to this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I quite like the old biddy that was the church woman.
Yeah, she does show up in future episodes.
Yeah.
Has she shown up before now?
She was in a...
Was she in a season 1 episode?
She was the pianist in the church.
She was the what in the church?
Pianist.
I know, she's making a...
Oh, right, yeah.
Pianist.
Well, I don't know.
She was getting pianist in the church.
Yeah, probably. Dick down. Pastor's got something to do.
Reverend Lovejoy?
Yeah.
We find out more about his sex life in later seasons.
Definitely not getting anything to do with her.
No.
But, no, she was the pianist. Homer's doing listening to the game while the sermon.
Yes, he is. She is, you're right. Okay, good.
There we go.
So
but I like that little touch. I like the fact that it was her squirreled away in the cupboard somewhere.
Yeah.
Playing that.
And then Homer's requesting music from her. That was pretty good.
Yeah. That was kind of a nice one.
Okay, that's
nice little bit.
That's
it.
stuff.
That's it. They're getting 3. And that's it.
This has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast.
Yes, it has.
I've been Connor.
I've been David.
This is the T422 production. Follow us on Instagram at InsertBrainHerePod or on Twitter at T422. You can also check us out on YouTube, Spotify, and all other major and minor podcasting platforms, as well as on our website, insertbrainhere.com. www.podcastpage.io.
Let us know whether or not there are any people out there that actually really, really like this episode.
Let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know if you enjoyed our weird sex talks, or if it made you uncomfortable to find out that much about your favourite podcast hosts, Connor and David.
Yeah.
This has been a real bad episode, but next week I promise it'll be much better. When we return to cover... David, what episode?
Don't throw shit like that to me. I can never remember the episode we're doing.
We'll be covering Dead Putting Society.
There we go.
The mini golf episode.
Right, okay.
Which I remember being a pretty good one, but we'll soon find out.
Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you. No, it hasn't. Smell you later.
Smell you later.
Goodbye.
Yeah.